In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to set notifications to be able to help you with getting screening that's due for patients. So this one will look at blood pressure. So first we go into reports and create new template. So the first major thing that makes this different is that instead of doing a practice management report, which would give us, the names of people who have had it done, we're going the opposite. So first, let's call this BP due. And so the type that we want to set this as is CDS. So CDS stands for Clinical Decision Support, and that's the module that gives us notifications. So there's a lot of different triggers that you could choose from. Trigger is basically what event happens to start this screening to pop up and notify you. We're just going to use visit today. Regardless of which you choose, it always shows up on the patient banner, and it will also show up on the patient hover. But visit is usually the most common location to want this, and we'll show you what that looks like once we're all done. So once we have that set up, now we want to set what the text is going to tell us if the patient matches all of this criteria that we're going to put in here. So I'm going to put under CDS match message, patient due for BP. So if they match this criteria that we're going to set, it's going to say patient due for BP. Usually I don't put a no match message in situations like this, because the only thing I could really put in there would be patient has already had their BP done, or patient not due for BP, and that ends up cluttering up some prime real estate on your screen. So I usually leave the no match message blank in this kind of circumstance. So once I have that top part set up, we're going to go down to the demographics. So gender we don't need to specify. Let's do status active patients, and we want them to have the primary provider of Dr. Tag, and the age group for this maneuver is 18 plus. So we can just put 18, and we can leave this to field blank, and it will just go 18 and above. So once we have those demographics, then we go down past a couple of these different sections down to the observation section. So we're going to want to look for people, so let's look for BP systolic. And a really important thing is that when you type in what you think it's going to be called, hit enter, and it will make sure that it matches the exact observation type that exists. So also we're going to add BP diastolic onto here. It sets you back up to the top whenever you add another one of these. So BP diastolic, and you see it again, it grabbed the correct name. So let's just look at the last BP that was done in the last year. So the maneuver criteria says to do a blood pressure annually. So make sure that box is checked, make sure this box is checked. And now the most important thing is, because we're doing a screening due notification, we want to find patients who have not. They have not had a blood pressure within the last year. So that not box is very important when you're doing the notification style. So let's scroll down to the bottom and hit save. And then let's open it up and see what it looks like. So we're going to have to scroll all the way down to where the CDS triggers are. Okay, so BP do. So here is how we had set it up. And then if you go over onto the right and then hit search, you can see these are the people who meet this criteria. So all of these people have not had a blood pressure in a certain amount of time. Now for this one you probably wouldn't end up running a report like this to look at the names, but I'm just doing this so that I can open up a patient and show you what it looks like on their chart. So when you open up the chart, you can see that this already appears in a couple of locations. So it'll show up here on the patient banner. It also shows up when you hover over their name. You can see that it also shows here. And finally, if we create a new visit, it will appear at the top of the visit as well. So there's lots of different places that it will notify us, and then that's helpful in us getting all the screening done that a patient is due for. So that is how you set up CDS alerts or CDS triggers for blood pressure being due.